What is going on, everybody? Nasdorachi coming back at you again this evening for more updates to the upcoming Step Up banner and just the general update to what's going on with the game. Now, there's still some things we don't know, specifically what's going to be going on with PvP, the boosted rewards. It's still about an hour and a half before that happens, so there'll still be some up-and-coming things we'll have to cover. But we did get the update in-game that lets us check out the characters in the character box. The new Gotenks and KEFLA, specifically, are the two that we're going to cover and look at. And we have some images data mined from Renzi to also check out that give us some idea of the things to come. But again, there are still a few things we still do not know. So in the interest of time and keeping this video short, quick to edit and upload, let's pop the gameplay up and start with a quick breakdown of the new characters coming to the game. From there, we can check out the images and the data mine. So scrolling all the way down, we will see the KEFLA and the Gotenks. We'll start with Gotenks. Now, I actually haven't even looked at him at all here. So let's limit break his status. And let's check him out before transformation, fully maxed out. He's looking at 2.3 million health, 236k strike attack, and 226k blast. He is melee type as well as KEFLA. They are both coming out melee. So unfortunately, doesn't seem like fusions will be getting the ideal support they need. But I quickly checked out KEFLA. She does actually have some supporting passives, a little bit. We'll have to see about Gotenks here. Now, it's critical also very high, 4.3k. Key restore, kind of in the average area. Carries 2 red cards. Tags, of course, on all the teams we'd expect across hybrids, Super Saiyans, fusions, kids, of course, everything you, again, would expect from Gotenks. He has nothing out of the ordinary going on his arts cards themselves. Galactic Donut deals major impact damage, inflicts enemy with a tribute, downgrade, plus 20% to strike damage received. Again, this is something that they can swap out of, so mostly only useful if he's like locked in via Vegito for 10 seconds and can't swap out of it, or if it's down to the last man standing scenario where, again, they cannot swap out of it. But with that being said, if you get it to stick, it will help Gotenks, of course, with the strike damage. Green card before transformation, Arrogant Conviction, 20% to damage inflicted for 20 counts, and a heal of 10%. That's actually not terrible. Main ability will transform into Super Saiyan 3, which lasts for 40 counts. I had misinterpreted some information that I heard and said 30 counts before, so it actually lasts 10 seconds longer than what I stated. That's fairly good. Those extra 10 seconds, comparatively speaking, will be very handy. In some cases, it could make or break the fight. He can use it also 5 seconds after the battle begins. That is very interesting. He can burst that out either very much towards the beginning, or you can try and save it a little bit for a more ideal matchup. It's, again, very interesting. 38% to tag Hybrid Saiyan or Fusion Warrior based strike attack. So he's just a strike attack buffer for only those 2 tags, but it does make him useful on hybrids, which is quite nice. Unique ability, Astonishing Fusion Power, applies the following effects to self when he enters the battlefield. 30% to damage inflicted for 15 counts, and minus 5 to his red card cost for 15 counts. That'll stack pretty nicely with his green card to get him like 50% damage bonus before he even transforms. So we'll have to check out. I mean, 236k? Yeah, on strike attack. Again, that's if he's fully, 14 starred, but still. He might be able to put up some solid numbers either before or after he transforms. Second, passive Overflowing Confidence. Following effects occur upon landing a red or yellow card. Reduces enemy ki by 15. Inflicts the enemy with a tribute downgrade plus 20% to strike damage received for 5 counts. Which will continue to stack as long as you keep comboing him. That's pretty mean right there. That is a pretty serious set of debuffs to put on the enemy. This passive almost might make the character useful in and of itself because that's really strong. It combines very well with his highly offensive kit, and again, very mean set of debuffs. So let's see, after transformation, jumps up to almost 290k strike attack and 276k blast. with 185 strike defense and 176 blast defense. Those are some pretty high numbers. 2.5 million health. If you have the other Gotenks on the bench, his health is going to be pretty dang high. The yellow one, that is, that buffs Fusion's health. 2 red cards still, Super Saiyan 3. Those numbers are very, very high. 290. That's like Majin 21 levels almost if she's 14 stars and fully transformed. Still nothing out of the ordinary on either of his cards. Victory Cannon, massive impact damage, and it activates a 25% damage buff right when you activate it. So it'll buff its own damage by 25%. That's not bad. I have a feeling this green card's going to help. Now you've made me mad. Plus 25% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts and restores his own ki by 40. I guess so, yeah. They made it seem in the previews like the green card had a lot more effect on the damage of the super move. But I guess, didn't they say that there's somewhere in here it's got to say that it tags it up to a higher damage modifier, right? Draw a Strike Arts card next on his second main ability. Increase own Arts card draw speed by 1 level for 40 counts. That's quite a long time. It's basically his entire duration of his transformation. So I guess you'll want to use that as quickly as possible. Reduces damage received by 20%. Can't be canceled. Gradually restores own health each count. So basically they want you to use this as quickly as possible after he transforms into Super Saiyan 3 again, to get these buffs lasting, again, for pretty much the entire duration of his transformation. It seems like the reduced damage received by 20% will last even after his transformation ends. So if he de-transforms and he's still alive and you keep using him, I think he'll keep that one, if I'm not mistaken. Again, Z ability won't change. Strength Beyond Years. Applies the following effects to self until his transformation ends. 50% to damage inflicted, -5 to strike arts cost, and -10 to blast arts cost, all of which cannot be removed. So just really good buffs for 40 seconds. Again, when you combine that with the main, it's going to be a very wide set of abilities and coverage that this Gotenks is going to have. Indomitable Tenacity reduces damage received by 30% until combo ends when changing cover. Plus 25% to strike damage inflicted for 20 timer counts when his cover change is activated. So, not very much defensive coverage, but he gets a damage buff coming out of it. This means that he's probably safe to swap in front of blue cards, but I would be hesitant to swap him in front of Ultimate Arts or Rising Rush, unless he potentially has color advantage. In that situation, go for it. But outside of that, I don't know. This won't cover but so much damage. And again, he keeps the following effects occur upon landing a red or yellow card. I think this is almost the same. Reduces enemy ki by 20. That goes up by 5. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 20% to damage received. I don't know, before transformation, is that just strike damage? Yeah, so it just upgrades to just general damage. I think that this character is going to be relatively good. Very offensive, has some good debuffing qualities, but not so much support going on from him. I think KEFLA actually has a little bit more support going on. I'm pretty sure that this was supposed to tier up massive impact damage. I guess not. I guess that's just part of his transformation, but the way the tweet was worded made that sound a little bit different. Let's check out the KEFLA here. Again, I don't have very much battery life left, so jumping right in should be much quicker for her because she's not a transforming unit. Fully stat her up here. So 14 stars, she's looking at 2.3 million health, so a little bit less health, but then again, she is not a transforming unit, and Gotenks only has more post-transformation. Just straight up 260k strike attack. Again, that's quite good for a non-transforming unit. 233k blast, so a little bit less balance there. And just kind of in the mid-range of defenses. Maybe a little above average, but just not super high. Just kind of very standard in terms of defenses, both strike and blast. Almost 5,000 crit though, standing at 4,800. That is very, very high. So again, very effective damage dealer most likely. Carries 2 reds. She's a Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Female Warrior, Fusion, and Potara, and Universe 6. So the main 3 teams we're thinking here is Universe 6, Fusion Warriors, and Females, of course. Arts card. This is pretty raw right here. And extremely good is what I mean by that. Strike damage up with blast armor, just like I predicted. She does have blast armor, like the transforming blue Vegeta, for example, or the DBS Broly, or the final form coolers in the game. Strike impact with blast armor, 25% to strike damage inflicted for 10 timer counts upon activation, and that scales up. It doesn't say that it doesn't stack, so if you keep landing successive red cards within 10 seconds, that's going to more than compensate for the combo damage scaling that, reduces the damage of your combo. More than compensate for it. So she'll be doing tons and tons of strike damage. Nothing out of the ordinary. Blast, Gigantic Crusher, major explode damage, randomly destroys 3 enemy cards on hit. Kind of like the red Vegito. Even his destroys 2. It's fairly useful because it can destroy some pretty valuable cards. And this will destroy 3, so pretty dang good. No damage buffing, but that's okay. Green card, I'm nowhere close to done. Restores her health by 10%, a little bit of combat sustain. 20% to damage inflicted for 15 counts, and it will remove all of her abnormal conditions and attribute downgrades. So all debuffs and anything like paralysis or heavy bleed, anything like that will be removed. That's very, very good. There's tons of value in those green cards. Gigantic Blast, her ultimate arts. Massive impact damage, applies the following effects to self upon activation. Basically, she will get rid of 100% of any defense buffs that the enemy gets if they're swapping in with a cover cut mechanic, and it will nullify endurance, so no immortality passives. It also has a 30% chance to inflict faint on hit. Main ability, of course, withdraw the ultimate arts, restores her own ki by 50, so guarantees her some combo extension there with like at least another red or yellow card before using the ultimate arts, and a 40% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts buff. So you stack this after she's used like 2 or 3 red cards into the ultimate arts, and you have a well over like 100%. It'll scale funny because it's like a strike damage buff, and this is a general damage buff, so it's not as much as I initially made it sound, but that's what we're looking at there. Next up, 38% to tag Female Warrior or Fusion Warrior based strike attack. So similar to Gotenks, she's just a strike attack buffer across 2 different tags if you get her started up enough. And not too much love for Universe 6 here, but that's not necessarily a terrible thing because their team already is not having too much cohesion. And again, it's kind of all over the place for Universe 6 right now, unfortunately. I just keep getting more and more pumped. Increases own arts card draw speed by 1 level when battle starts. Cannot be cancelled. So she permanently has arts card draw speed +1. That's extremely good. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. Changes all of yellow cards into red cards. We've seen that before on certain mechanics, like certain characters' green cards especially will do that. 30% to damage inflicted. Cannot be stacked. So that's just like, boom, you get it. If it gets removed, she'll get it again when she swaps in again, but it would have to be removed first. Reduces damage received by 20% for 20 timer counts, and -5 to a red card cost, which also cannot be stacked. So again, that would have to be removed, and then she'll reapply it when she swaps back in anyways. So pretty nifty. This is a very deadly passive right here. She's going to be doing, again, a lot of strike damage, collecting those buffs, and then doing like that nuke with that beautiful Peppermint Swirl ultimate arts. Final passive, it's the last one you're going to land. 20% to damage inflicted against character Goku, cannot be cancelled. It's kind of like the old style Broly buffs we've seen in the game. Very selectively useful, but of course, when you are happening to be versus a Goku character, which there are lots of, it will be useful. But again, somewhat niche. That's probably the weakest passive we've seen on her entire kit so far. The following effects occur after enemy attack is over. Restores 20% of health received up to 20% of own health. Kind of like a weakened version of the Zenkai Fat Boost passive, where like every time he takes damage, he's going to get some of that health back. And this same thing will work for her. Just up to 20%, I believe, instead of 30% that he has. 20% to damage inflicted by allied tag Female Warrior, tag Fusion Warrior, or Universe 6 for 25 timer counts. Every time the enemy attack is over. So that's the little bit of Universe 6 support she does have there. But basically every time she takes damage, everyone on the team, ideally, that you'd be running her with is going to get a damage buff. which is very interesting. This will apply for stuff like tap attacks. If they hit you with like a tap attack into an arts card, this will stack twice. So that's very interesting to keep in mind with all of her just stacking damage buffs she has going on. It's pretty ridiculous. Again, alright, we've spent enough time covering the 2 new characters. Before we wrap the video up here, I did just want to go over the Discord and some of the new images we found. And that's pretty much all we'll have to cover until I do some summons and we see what the new PvP season is going to look like. So we've covered the new characters. We've seen the banner, kind of. I'll show you the art. So we got art again for Gotenks, for KEFLA, for post-transformation Gotenks, little thumbnails. There's Z-powers. We have coolers, Zenkai arts card collection. If you get them to Zenkai 3, you know Goresh is going to be rocking that one for sure. Fusions Fighters. This is a trappy bait banner. I mean, I couldn't advise anyone using any Chrono Crystals on this banner. Even for the guaranteed sparking summons, there's just no way that it's worth it. No way. This one, however, should be interesting. Masters Pack Z. That should be all of the Zenkai characters so far, including Cooler. Most one that I'm excited for would be Beerus, of course, because he's a Legends Limited unit. But all of them on one Masters Pack style banner. Masters Pack usually gives out lots and lots of free tickets, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. I'm not sure if Chrono Crystals are worth it for all these characters or not. Mainly Beerus is what you'd be looking for, but that's a very interesting way for them to rebrand a banner like this. But hopefully, again, it comes with lots of free tickets. Then we have the step up for KEFLA and Gotenks. You will return to step 3 after step 7. Step 7 is usually free. There's usually an EX guaranteed or higher step in the mix somewhere. There's usually a step with boosted rates on new characters, which would be KEFLA and Gotenks, somewhere in there. And you should be earning tickets for most of the steps as well. And you need 5 tickets, of course. You see right here, 5 tickets for a guaranteed sparking pull. I do wish everyone the most fire luck possible if you are deciding to summon. Again, I'll be doing at least 1 rotation through the banner. That's probably it. After that, it's just a lot of titles and different little things associated with the new adventures. So it looks like there'll be some guaranteed tickets, some non-guaranteed tickets from doing the new adventure system, which is toys for Goten and Trunks. Collect toys to get awesome rewards. Very interesting. This is something new, however. This might be in reference to like some type of 700 days celebration. The Golden Showdown, take on the world's warriors to get awesome rewards. I'm thinking there'll be some of these Zenkai Masters Pack tickets behind this event, potentially. Like maybe use these G coins to buy some from an exchange shop. If I use my imagination, that's kind of something I could come up with there. So Golden Showdown should be interesting. Goku Day is May 9th. That's still a decent little bit of ways, but we'll have to keep on touch with this. Someone who's more in tune with like Japanese cultural stuff, feel free to let me know down in the comments if this has some other relevance outside of 700 days celebration type stuff. And of course we got some sales, different events rotating in that you'll be able to get the new adventures from. 1 hour ones usually come from PvP, and 3 hours, 7 hours from different from the anime events. Then just the assets for the characters themselves, but we'll pretty much be able to see those in game soon enough here. This is Cooler Zenkai background right there. So with all that being said, that's all the update stuff that we currently know about. Of course, I will be recording that one trip through the Step Up banner. Because this video is now out, I can keep that one significantly shorter. We explained everything important here. And we'll also probably be checking out the updates to the PvP reward systems and any other pieces or parts of the update that were not covered by this video. We'll pick everything up when we do the summons, anything we missed. So I do hope that y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what your hype levels are for this banner, these characters down below. Yes, this is kind of bait before the anniversary, but at the same time, if you run fusions or females a lot, then this banner does have a lot of value. It's a step up. There's lots of Legends Limited units on here. We saw Gohan, Goten, and Super Vegito at the very minimum in the banner art when we checked that out. So with all that being said, again, let me know what your hype levels are down below. I am going to do one rotation, I mentioned earlier, and that's about it. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a thumbs up. I'm gonna go edit this and get it ready so that we can then record some summons. Again, if you do your summons before you see any future videos from me, I wish you the most fire luck. I do appreciate everyone that supports videos, comments on them, etc. If you're new around here, consider subscribing so I can see you again on future videos, which again will be those summons. I'm gonna head out, get this up, and I will talk to you again very soon. Peace out, y'all.